Hey friends, Sheree here. Welcome back to the channel, Gardening at Home with Sheree. Well, it is Friday, October the 3rd. It's currently 84 degrees outside, high of 86, and I'm not mad about it. I'm out here today because despite the warm October weather, this heat wave has been incredible. I do have to, be realistic and understand that the likelihood of this continuing on in the 80s for much longer is just not very likely. And so I'm out here to go ahead and pull a few things and harvest a lot of things. I have, as you've seen from my previous videos, harvested hundreds of pounds of food from this little Minnesota Zone 4 garden. I'm so thrilled. I'm totally sad about not getting as many tomatoes as I had wanted, as well as peppers, as well as cucumbers, because those are some of my favorite and honestly have been the easiest things for me to grow in past years. But I'm thrilled with the amount of eggplant, as well as the amount of squash, how well the greens have done. I mean, a lot of things have done way better for me this year than in previous years. So, that's a part of nature and gardening. How they say when you're a kid, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit, right? So I'm getting what I get. I'm going to enjoy that. And I have to say, the kind of food that I've grown is definitely, in a lot of ways, easier to harvest and easier to preserve and store. Those little chipmunks, little punks. They are in the garden because this time of year, I have a lot of nut trees on the property, and the nuts fall, of course. And so they are in there gathering nuts and unfortunately also disturbing my soil in some areas, especially where I've tried to sow new seeds. They just dig, looking for places to bury, and then they're not the smartest, right? And they don't remember where they've left things. So it's just constantly some soil disruption going on. But, that's just a part of gardening outside, right? But anyway, I'm going to just show you a quick peek of a couple of things. The bitter melon are starting to flower, and I'm going to go inside in a second and show you one where it started to fruit. I think I released a short sharing that already, but I got to figure out what I'm going to do with these because they've come so far and I don't want to just kind of leave them to freeze and die. So I might see, you can see here how they wrap around the fencing. If I can release those without too much damage, I may very well dig up. I only have like 4 of them out here. I may very well dig them up. I do have some starts as well for the indoor garden, but yeah, we'll see. But I have, still a lot of different squash varieties growing. These are new fruit since end of September. This plant here, I think I shared already, either in a video or a short, had, it just didn't do anything throughout the whole summer. And then as soon as the temperatures cooled down, it just took off. I had cleared this area out, actually, and I left that little piece back there. I was just like, well, we'll see if it does anything. And it just took over. And it just took over this whole space and has spit out about 4 fruit that I see growing. A couple of them, it spit out more fruit, but a couple of them don't seem like they got germinated. So I'm definitely gonna leave this one going. I may very well drape a frost cloth over this if I see that our temperatures are gonna get low before I get fruit, and we'll just see how far it goes. It's a beautiful beautiful plant, beautiful vines. And I mean, it's taking off like it's early summer. It's just unbelievable. But it's keeping flowers going and it's keeping the bees in the garden. And so, yeah. But let's go up to the other side, exterior of the garden, and then we'll go inside the garden. Okay, so on the inside of the garden, you can see I still have this squash here. I'm gonna harvest that. These are all tomatoes that just probably not gonna get anything off of them. This is that one, it's a pumpkin variety, I'm pretty sure, that we were looking at just on the outside. All the greens have just done beautifully all summer. I still have last bits of tomatoes. This is the Brad's Crazy Cherry. So I'm gonna be harvesting those. I have big tomatoes in here to harvest. Purple Cherokee still. These little babies, I'm just waiting to ripen. So we'll see. But again, all my greens are just, they look beautiful all summer long. Yeah. So I will be doing also deep cuts of a lot of these just to, I haven't put any chard or kale in my freezer yet. So I'm gonna do that and then I'll just let them keep growing and we'll see how long they can grow. A lot of the tomato plants are looking really crazy at this point. I'm just waiting for tomatoes to ripen. And you can see here, I did leave a couple of summer squash, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull that. Yeah. And you can see here, they started sending off new green plants and a new baby fruit, but yeah, I got a lot of flowers to harvest. I'm still harvesting a lot of the marigolds and things like that for the freeze dryer. This is that gorgeous walking stick kale, just doing strong all summer. Provided so much food. Oh no, I don't know what happened there. That bee died. So yeah, still a lot of cherry tomatoes to harvest. So I'm gonna go around and get that pumpkin. So I'm gonna go around and just, collect food and keep clearing. Yeah. I did start taking down some of the callaloo to save seeds. So I'm gonna go through and get down more of this in this bed. Maybe I'll get everything from this bed. I have more in other places. As you can see here, I've already cleared out a lot of the squash and the tomato plants. Gonna get all my onions. Just gonna get them out. Because again, even though in here I notice a lot of birds are coming in and they're using my bamboo stakes as little perching spots and they're knocking my remaining little tomato plants down. So I gotta get that cleaned up. And then over here, I'm gonna get this last squash out of this bed and then get this cleaned out because this is gonna be one bed that I'm gonna put some of my garlic in. And then over here, I have some peppers that just, they got kind of buried and were looking crazy. I had also put some cauliflower in here that went to seed. The Brussels sprouts are still in here, but I gotta stake them up. They're forming little Brussels on them, but we'll see. I might dig one of these up and put it in the greenhouse too. But really just cleaning that up, and then I'll probably put some leafy greens over here just to see how long, if it stays warm and they can grow and I get something to harvest, great. If not, I tried. And so yeah, this is some chard that I sowed back in spring. I might go ahead and cut out the last bits that look good and resow some fresh seeds over here. Same thing over here. Gotta resow some green seeds, some arugula and things like that. Need those tomatoes to ripen. And then up in here, there's a squash vine that's spread. I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out. I have a lot of red onions in here hidden under the marigolds. And this was another bed that had some pepper plants that just kind of didn't do anything. And they're just now starting to like bounce back and set flowers. So again, they might get dug up, put into the greenhouse. This squash plant, the squash plant is still putting out summer squash though. I have this one and another one, but I think I probably need to retire it. So we'll see. And then on this side of the garden, it's just a lot of food still. I have this big squash to harvest. I'm gonna get the last of these cucumbers off and probably pull that vine. But the chocolate sprinkled tomatoes are still generating tomatoes and ripening. I have a lot of grow bags with different kind of root vegetables and onions. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just start clearing, again, all of these grow bags out, taking, good quality food out, tossing the rest, and then maybe even refreshing these with different herbs and things that, might grow during the fall, just to experiment. I do need to gather these radish seeds, and like here, I need to harvest that gorgeous basil. I might dig that one up and bring that basil plant inside. That's a good one. But again, just these are all squash plants. This is a tromboncino, I think. But I just need to start pulling a lot of this. Here's another basil that bounced back after temperatures cooled. Yeah. Another bag of beets. More big tomatoes that I'm just waiting to see the tomato plant itself. In a lot of areas looks worse for wear. But hi. Hang on one second. The final thing I'm gonna have to harvest today, and I might get my husband to come do this for me if I'm running out of time, because I'm just forgetting these raspberries. I've shown several, I think I should have shown by now a couple videos of these raspberries this year, and I mean, this is October 3rd and they're just still, we definitely weren't harvesting raspberries into October last year, especially not this quantity for sure. And so yeah, this is just, I just did a harvest like 2 days ago, a big harvest. And like this one, this branch, it's almost done, but we have a lot that are just still giving a lot of fruit. So we will harvest as much as we can. Excited to see the rest of these fruit ripen before we get our frost, hopefully. All right, let me get changed and start my harvest. Still got a lot of eggplant growing, and the plants themselves just still look beautiful. I'm definitely gonna dig some of these up. Like this plant's gonna get dug up, put into a pot, because I want to try and get, I think I'm gonna take in one of each of these varieties. There's 3 different varieties here in this bed. But yeah, it's just awesome to still be seeing so much fruit on these plants. I don't want to just, let the harvest end. The okra is still growing, October 3rd. Gonna harvest off a couple. Looks like there are 2 ready there. And again, instead of restarting seeds, for my indoor garden, I'm just probably gonna just transplant a couple of these. It's like, why not? So we'll see again how long this goes. I mean, dug up all the summer squash that was in here. And again, my tomato plants keep falling, but some of my big beefsteaks are finally ripening. These eggplant over here are also still going strong. There's definitely some, they hide under the leaves, but I'm gonna go through each of the plants and, harvest what's ready. Gonna get these big tomatoes. This is another one. This fell. Birds. So this hasn't started blushing yet. So yeah, and then all up in here again, have a lot of tomatoes ripening, a bunch yet to ripen. These chocolate pear tomatoes I see back here are ripening. Gonna get those. Those are yummy. Yeah. So we'll just look through, a lot of stuff is hiding under the leaves. Back here, the squash here. This plant gave off so many of these squash. This one and this one hidden down here a little smaller. That's a big one. So I think I'm probably gonna get that one back there off the ground for sure. And you can see here, all these eggplant are ready. So I'm gonna get all those. Look at this one here. That's a beautiful eggplant too. Yeah, just gonna go through and gather. Some of these are new varieties for me this year, so I have to see how big they're even supposed to get before harvesting. See what they're supposed to look like when they're mature. But yeah, I'm definitely not gonna, I'll be watching the weather, and I'll definitely pull some of these plants to put into my grow room if I don't get anything off of them, ready before frost comes. Because I would love to at least, be able to taste one of each of the new varieties that I'm growing this year. And then we have this pumpkin out here that I'm gonna have to manage to get. Big beauty here, this Cinderella pumpkin. I think I'm gonna go ahead and harvest her, and maybe that'll help that new one out there start to ripen a little faster. This thing here, I'm not sure what that is, but I'm gonna go ahead and harvest that as well. And again, I have a lot of nasturtium. I do want to harvest some more of the blossoms, but we'll see if I make it over into these beds or not. I have a lot of them, so yeah. And these zinnias, again, I've shared several times, they have just been a standout in the garden this season. I gotta make sure that I have more of these seeds, and if not, I'm gonna have to get another couple packs of these, because these were just spectacular all summer. Here's another pepper plant that's just giving up a lot of fruit right now. Now I'm pretty sure these ripen to another color. This is a hot pepper. I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna protect this or bring it inside. At least a piece of it, a chunk of it. But we're gonna harvest those peppers green, I think. Definitely before the frost. Maybe not today, but I'll be watching for the frost very closely. This tomato here is the Patio Choice Yellow Tomato. I grew this in a grow bag. It's been very productive, and definitely one that I would recommend for containers and patios. I might even start some seeds and grow this out indoors. Another great option for containers and patios, plant does not get too big, is the chocolate pear tomato. These have a really rich, delicious flavor, and you will get a lot of tomatoes on your plant. This variety here is the Brad's Atomic Grape Tomato. For me, they never quite produce as many as some of the other cherry tomatoes. Again, it could be my zone. I'm in Minnesota Zone 4. But I love the way they look. They taste great. And yeah, they're just very interesting looking tomatoes. So I will always grow them. This is my 4th season growing them here in Minnesota Zone 4. Fifth season growing them here in Minnesota Zone 4. All right, well, I've collected a lot of tomatoes. I still have some more. Found one pink Okinawan okra ready. Shows you the other ones. Did find some carrots. I have some grow bags that have carrots. I'm gonna go check those grow bags, and then I gotta harvest some more tomatoes as well. Okay, so this is what I managed to get today. I'll be back out tomorrow first thing in the morning, and I will get the eggplant and squash and continue with the herbs. Did find some beets as well that I want to taste test to see if I want to resow some seeds in the greenhouse to try to grow over fall and winter as well. All right, friends, let's get this food weighed. We're going to start with those 2, which I think will be my last green squash. I hate to do it, but I'm going to go ahead and pull that plant up. But anyway, those 2 come in. Oh, let me turn this, make sure you can see it. Those are coming in at 1 pound, 3 ounces. All right, we'll do the carrots. Now, one of the carrots and one of the beets is already inside because, yeah, I filmed me cutting them open. So here's what's left, and I put my one little okra. But again, I think tomorrow I'll have more to harvest. So this little bits comes to 4 ounces. And then finally, we're just gonna get all these different tomatoes on there. All right, so that's 2 pounds of tomatoes. So almost a total of 4 pounds of tomatoes. And like I said, I'll be getting more. Actually, I'm headed to the garden right now to do another harvest. And so I'm going to combine that Might combine that with this video. We'll see. Okay, I'm gonna just put everything back into the bowl. And there you see a small harvest. I got what I could get in the time that I had yesterday. Just plop this bowl in the fridge. I'm gonna do the same thing. I've already scanned and showed you the things that I'm gonna harvest. So I'm just gonna get out there. I don't have a lot of time. I have about an hour and a half to spend in the garden today. So I'm just gonna go through, harvest, pull stuff, cut back stuff, and we'll gather everything together and I'll show you what I pulled.